The terms momentum and relative strength are closely related and are sometimes used interchangeably. Relative strength shows a stock's performance relative to other stocks, and it is momentum which is used to measure that performance. Momentum has been well proven. It's been around a long time and it's been thoroughly researched by the academic world. Many tests and studies on momentum have been published, so it's really important to understand that momentum is the fundamental building block of relative strength. Relative strength takes momentum a stage further by ranking the momentum performance of a number of stocks so that it can be seen at a glance which stocks are exhibiting the greatest momentum or the highest relative strength. We mentioned earlier the importance of a strong foundation with statistical significance. It would be great to know that the concept of momentum and relative strength is not some new idea with no proof behind it. We would like to know that we can have confidence in it. And we can have confidence because it's been acknowledged since the 1930s and has subsequently been shown to exist in the markets long before that. It's still in evidence and still working today, and is in fact in use right now by some of the most successful hedge fund managers out there. Here's a few of the most important points that we really should know about. Momentum came to prominence in the 1920s and 30s. The most famous publication about that era is probably Reminiscences of a Stock Operator, which is a book about the legendary trader Jesse Livermore. Livermore's method was pure momentum. In the same era, the momentum-based methods of H.M. Gartley and Richard Wyckoff were published. Wyckoff's methods in particular have gained reputation and fame with popular courses being published. Even better, momentum has a strong basis in the scientific studies of academic research. We can only scratch the surface here, but here are a few of the highlights. In 1937, Cowles and Jones published the first known scientific momentum study. Compiling their data by hand, they discovered that the best performing stocks tended to exhibit strong performance in the next year. Robert Levi published his research into momentum relative strength in the 1960s. He published first for his doctoral thesis and later, in 1968, an article in the Journal of Finance. His method was to calculate the relative strength of each stock and rank the list by percentiles. He found that a high relative strength ranking led to strong performance in the stock 6 months later. Unfortunately, the academic world was not ready for him. The seriously flawed efficient markets hypothesis and random walk theory had just been adopted, and the world of academia was not going to accept anything that cast a shadow on their pet theories. Levi's work was heavily criticized. In 1998, Jagadish and Titman published the now legendary paper. Their findings confirmed what Levi had found 30 years earlier. Coming up to date in the modern world, Cliff Asness has been an outspoken supporter of momentum relative strength. Why should we care? Well, Cliff Asness is a legendary hedge fund manager with a net worth of $3.6 billion, who is telling us loud and clear that momentum relative strength is the prominent factor in his strategies. He has published 2 white papers on momentum, and one of them, Fact, Fiction and Momentum Investing, is entirely devoted to providing proof of the validity of the momentum relative strength factor. Here's a quick quote from Charles Kirkpatrick's excellent 2008 book. Kirkpatrick says, "The most reliable technique for selecting stocks is relative strength." Finally, we come full circle to Eugene Farmer, the very same person who championed the efficient markets hypothesis in the 1960s. Look what he says now. He says that momentum is the premier market anomaly, the center stage anomaly. He even says it's above suspicion. Okay, that's enough for now. There's plenty more evidence out there, but I'm sure you get the picture by now. Momentum relative strength is a long and widely acknowledged phenomenon, and it's particularly significant that it has continued to work and hold true despite being widely publicized over a long period. So, thanks for listening. I hope it has become clear why relative strength has become such an important element in our tools.